He'll save with a mighty hand every man, every woman, every child. It's a land named Crash. This is Crashlands, developed by Butterscotch Shenanigans, which is a dumb name for a game company. It's developed on Game Maker Studio. What is it? Crashlands is a story-driven crafting ARPG set in an outlandish world of hidden magic and high technology. Fight and tame alien beasties, craft resources into menacing weaponry, befriend the locals, and go toe-to-chin with the world-domineering maniac. So this is, I think, the first game we're actually getting through the Curator Connect, so thanks to the devs, Butterscotch Shenanigans, for giving us this shenanigan. What is it? It's the ChairQAsition. This is the part of the show where we take a game, we take a look at it, we play it a little bit, we maybe poke at it with a stick until we uncover some nasty, nasty bugs to do a little QA that the developers should have done in the first place. We do that by throwing chairs. 1 chair means that it's garbage. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means it's pretty good. 4 chairs means that it's awesome. We got our categories of doom. Makes it the working. Shiny sounds, controls, and fun. We're doing a bit of a roundtable these days. So, starting it off, then it's monitor time.
Yeah, man. I had a very serious issue that I've only experienced with one other title, which also, it was a Unity title, and monitor timeout. I was talking to Pedro Thursday about my solution to this, because fortunately, we have the gerbil of silence that we use while we record, which is a quiet gerbil made for that. So I keep that at my foot while I'm leaned back, playing the game with a Steam controller, because the monitor times out when it normally times out if I'm not doing shit every 15 minutes. Causing me to get killed a lot more than I'd like to admit. Yeah, this is the only other game out of the 503 I currently own on Linux that has this issue. Also, you gotta create an account on their system in order to use stupid monkey cloud saves. Fuck that noise. Not happy with it, man. I'm gonna say this thing doesn't work just because it times out on, maybe it's a separate X screen issue? Possibly? I don't know.
Nope. I don't run into that issue at all. My only real issue with it is it fucking loud, and rip headphone users if you're starting up this game.
Oh yes,
it will kill your eardrums nice and good. Also, I'll get to this a little bit more in the control segment, but they give you a little option in the menu to change your gamepad settings from ABXY to shapes, like on this guy, and that shit isn't exactly right. It's a little Bobby Hill. But on Fedora 2764-bit with the i7 6700K and the GTX 980, runs that issue for me.
Yeah, no, over here with the Ubuntu 1604 64-bit with the GTX 1080 and the Ryzen 5 1600, it didn't time out, but then again, I am kind of a stickler when it comes to my monitors timing out. That's one of the things I always disable. It's, if this box is running, I want it to keep running regardless of whether or not I'm touching the mouse or the keyboard or whatever. So yeah, no, it didn't really have any issues. So for me, it gets the full 4.
All right. I guess I should point out that I am running Ubuntu 1710 kernel 414. So,
all right. Well, that's 3 chairs for Makes with the Working. If we tally all of that up, how about the shinny and the sounds, Pedro? Does the sort of sprite aesthetic do anything for you?
Actually, for such a simple art style, there's definitely a lot of charm with this one. I guess the dialogue also helps. There's not voice acting, so to speak. There's just some mumbling and some audio gibberish going on whenever characters speak. But the sense of humor in the dialogue does very much overlap with the LGC sense of humor. It's much more Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays than Linux Gamecast Weekly proper, but it is very much there. And, you know, as repetitive as the soundtrack is, I didn't find the need to immediately mute it. So, bonus soda.
Yeah, I don't know. The soundtrack was kind of forgettable for me, right? It kind of just played in the background. The writing also didn't do anything. Like all the jokes I came across fell pretty flat. It's funny because the game has a flat aesthetic. Speaking of which, it doesn't really do much for me. I don't know. It really does feel like a mobile game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it probably does. It looks like a well-done mobile game. I'll absolutely say that. Kind of digging that. And everything does scale well because it is a mobile game, you know. Graphics, they're nice, man. Colorful. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, nothing that's lazy about this whatsoever. And I should say, as a mobile game, this thing's won a fuckload of awards. I kind of think of it as a really overly cutesy, don't starve together type aesthetic. The background, it beeps, it boops, it bops. Don't mind it. Don't necessarily need it in my ear pussies when I'm jamming out to it. For the 15 minutes that I can play it at a time.
Yeah, so I guess you two are giving it 3. I wasn't as impressed as the both of you. I gave it 2. So that totals out to 2 chairs. Man, I can't count today. Goddamn. And how about some controls? So I mentioned before that it has a shapes option in the menu button. Well, if you switch it to shapes, it will give you the button prompt for, say, the cross button on the DualShock controller. But it actually means the circle button. And after about 5 minutes of trying to sort it out, I just decided, hey, I'm going to switch it back to Xbox mode and then just have the split second of press X. Oh, that actually means press square. That's a little dumb, guys. If you're going to include that option, you might want to, make it work. Beyond that, everything else works reasonably well. The lock-on mechanic can get a little weird when you can't unlock from the thing that you're currently targeted, but that's kind of a minor nitpick.
Yeah, right under that, I use the Steam controller, Areola controller. You know it, you love it. You might have one yourselves. Worked really well with that. Everything completely mapped out. A lot of shit to click. Still, again, nothing I had to futz with. It's there on the screen. You do it. Easy to remember where your business is. I like that. The only downside, and it's kind of a wicked annoying downside on this business, is the auto lock / aim thingy. Yes, that is a technical term we use in the game industry. And it clearly shows the mobile roots with the original touch interface, which I'm talking about. When you're facing things, it kind of has an auto lock system, which can get a little fucky when something goes across something else that you're trying to fuck up. And it won't happen, or you're trying to throw a wrench, and it's like, you can't throw a wrench at that. I'm like, why? Because I've auto-locked onto this thing. It's more of an annoyance than it is actually anything breaking. So, yeah, I'm going to say the controls are pretty much working with this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Steam controller, the mistress over here, thank you very much, Lockdowned. Everything was immediately recognized out of the box, and it worked. I guess also keeping all the labels on screen for what you need to press for things to happen is probably a good thing because it gives you less of a margin of error. So for me, the auto-lock thing was annoying at times, but it's just a matter of repositioning your character most of the times and it will sort itself. So I can't really ding it a chair for that.
I definitely can. So I gave it 3, Ben gave it 3, you gave it 4. Totals out to 3 chairs. Who wants to jump on the fun wagon?
Hey, man, I'm going to take this fun wagon all out of Fun Town, man, because what do you got? What do you got? You got something that's made for fucking grinding, let's face that. There's a lot of grinding here, and that's what this game's about. Something you can pick up, fuck around for a little bit, put down, and continue out your day. It's almost like, yes, that's right, it's a mobile game. There's a fun little time waster hiding in here, behind an egregious technical blunder, at least on my end, and that's the monitor timing out, and that really sucks. Also, if we're going to be honest, doubling the price from the mobile version, kind of a dick move, Brad. You can't really tell me this because you spent a lot of time reworking the game for PC, because that's a fucking lie. If that's the case, I wouldn't have, I actually would have out of the box a Steam Cloud save like any other modern game made in the last since forever, instead of having to sign up for your bullshit service. Admittedly, it's free, but it's not inside Steam. Fuck that noise. I don't know you. I'm not trusting you with that. So, I kind of noped out of this business after about an hour of playtime. because I think the second time we've all fought the Wumpuses, and it was the second Wumpus or whatever the fuck those Hippo, Plato, fucky, stompy me's or just timed out at the wrong time and I got smashed to death. When you get killed, pretty easy. You teleport back, you grab your stuff. But that's really annoying, dying because I couldn't tap or kick my damn dribble quick enough because we have these YOLO business monitors that cycle through genuinely 900 inputs, and the last fucking one is DisplayPort, mini DisplayPort. So you got to be quick on the draw, and if you're not, you're just dead if you're in the middle of combat.
Yeah, look, basically, this is Don't Starve, right? It's the exact same formula. Actually, not even, because Don't Starve has the actual mechanic where you need to find food. This one, your food is just your health, like the sort of lazily done crafty survival games. And everything just devolves into go there, get this thing, or go there, kill that, get this thing, or go there, kill that, build this thing. It's some combination of all that. And it's not really engaging. It just gets super monotonous. The grind doesn't feel like it's building up somewhere. When you get blueprints, they're just for 90% of the blueprints you get are for the or that you just find are for cosmetic items,
useless bullshit,
shelves. Yeah, exactly. It's no, if I'm gonna play a game like this, I kind of want to progress up the tech tree so that I can be a badass with a laser gun instead of a guy with a sword literally made out of grass. And that's the thing. The game doesn't really do anything particularly original, which is fine because you can have unoriginal games that have solid gameplay mechanics, but this is just really mediocre, and that is the ultimate crime of this game. Is that's boring. I'm not engaging at all.
Yeah,
I feel little motivation to play it.
I really do like the idea behind these kinds of games, the RPG adventure game where you need to craft your way to success. It's probably I was probably the only one here that actually truly enjoyed Planet Explorers to any significant degree. And I enjoyed Planet Explorers a lot more than I enjoyed Minecraft back in the day. That said, Planet Explorers realized just how grindy these kinds of games can get. And before you even get to make any significant impact in the world, before you even get to be powerful against the enemies that are around you, all the creatures in the world and what have yous, it realizes that you need to grind for a lot of shit. And Planet Explorers did a really awesome thing where it made the menial tasks they made them feel slightly less like a menial task and more like you were actually making progress in the game, because the quests that you were given actually got you the stuff that you needed in order for you to craft whatever it is that you would need for the very next quest. That realization of the crafting system, the improvement or the lessening of the grinding, as it were, is something that didn't really seem to happen in Crashlands. Because, okay, maybe it's the mobile game DNA, maybe it's the whole, okay, so you're stuck at work for most of the day, so you do some of the menial stuff, you tap some things, you grind for some of the materials, and then when you get home, you get to finish that quest because you actually get to kill the enemy, or you get to go to a place and explore a little bit of the map and maybe kill some of the enemies around there. That is what this game feels like. It's, I can see what it is, but I don't really like it. This sort of design doesn't really have a place when you're playing a PC game. I don't really think of myself as a purist when it comes to video games, but certain mediums do tend to lend themselves better to different styles of games. And Crashlands, while not being absolutely terrible, doesn't really shine on PC. So it's kind of middle of the road there.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry, you're done.
oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Oh, that's one chair from Ben and myself, 2 chairs from Pedro. Tally all that up. 1 chair for fun. We didn't really have that much fun playing the game. Tally this whole nonsense up, and we get 2 chairs, which is a not sure if want on the ChairQAsition O-meter, O-tron.
I'm gonna say 2 chairs with a heavy slant towards the down direction because the price, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 15, 20 bucks.
It was
for
very
this.
pricey.
Yeah, yeah, especially like it's almost 20 bucks Canadian. That is, I would maybe pay 5 for this at most.
Listen, I could see $9.99 for this, and like, yeah, all right, if it's your jam, you like this type of stuff, maybe that. But yeah, coming up on double of that, like seriously, just get it on mobile for like £6. You're done.
Yeah, it's just another unremarkable survival crafty game in a sea of other ones that do the exact same thing to varying degrees of success. It's there's not much in here you haven't seen before. Maybe you dig the aesthetic, maybe you just like maybe you know the devs and you want to support them or something. It's not really my cup of tea.